Hello, welcome back to the channel and thank you for clicking on this little update. Early access has been out for a month and let's talk about our experience so far. I will tell you my story of the last month and at the end what I think about the project. I joined our clan from Alpha 2 Requiem. You can see us fighting our way through an undead camp here, farming some materials and special magic items. Straight away I have to get into the combat. The combat does feel better with use of magic, but there is no skill or excitement surrounding it. You just pull some mobs, click them till they die. The required amount of skill you can use is very limited and the cooldowns are long in the 30-second range, which makes it very sporadic and reduced amount of usage. The combat animation and feedback from mobs is non-existent, which makes it harder to react. Dying is also very special. If you manage to survive, you can pull the body of your party members to you and revive it with a little animation. Being an early access, this is okay, it can be worked on and changed in the future, but it does require work. Recently the dev team asked for some feedback surrounding the PvP combat, which in my opinion is irrelevant. Seeming the combat is in a placeholder situation at the moment, or do they intend to keep it this way? At the moment I can't tell you what the intention is. In my opinion, with the combat in the current state, you cannot even start to talk about PvP. At the moment, if you have enough stamina food, you can outrun everyone. Even without it, you will manage to get away. You have a hard time trying to catch anybody in PvP. Even if you're with a full group of people, people will manage to escape. While attacking, you get locked in place, which gives the enemy or the people you are trying to hunt more distance between you and him. Even if you shield bash, it does not hold the target for long enough, being able to kill it in time. The combat has to shift to a more dynamic and fluent combat. For PvP and for PvE, it has to be more responsive. Mobs has to give clear cues when they are attacking, because you can increase your block skill, but it's really hard to block when you don't see animations of the PvE enemy attacking you. I think for the combat they have to go in the direction of New World, full action combat with directional aimed attacks. It's not the best example, but it's a step in the right direction. Now moving on from my rant about the combat, let's continue. I joined the party about a week late, waiting for my new PC build to arrive, and the guild had already built and crafted a lot of the required stations. So I asked them what they needed, so I can help our clan conquer the world of Pax Dei, and I got tasked with leatherworking and gathering. That was perfectly fine for me. I could focus on one profession, and I had everything to my disposal in order to craft. So I started hunting animals around the base for some basic grey hides tier 1. It was a good drop rate, close to base, quite straightforward. You get some hides, you process them, turn them into items, equals increased skill. Now, the thing about crafting in Pax Dei, the amount of items you need to progress is huge. The excruciating pain was the amount of the same thing you are making in order to progress with the least amount of materials needed. And the fact that with this huge amount of the same item you have to store it somewhere, because there is nothing you can do with it and you don't want to throw it away in the case in the future they implement some kind of salvage mechanic. Now you have to store it in one of your 1000 chests laying around the base in case you can do something with it. The true pain came when I started to need more advanced hide, the so-called animal hides 2. When you look at the video, those are the orange ones, the orange hides. These were very rare to encounter and you cannot find them in the home valleys. In order to obtain these, you had to kill more advanced mobs outside the home valleys, and you had a really small chance of obtaining them. And the mobs were very hard to kill solo. So I had to come up with a way to farm them quickly and efficiently. Now I know, the game wants you to farm in group, but everyone is focused on their own professions. And the amount of time required to gather people and farm the amount needed in order to level is way too big, and it's just not possible in a group. People have to do shit, have to live their lives, and they want to focus on their own professions. So this makes it very hard to gather enough people in order to go farm some hides. So I had to cheese my way to animal hides. I had to climb trees, pull mobs with my bow and kill them this way, so I could provide the clan with the needed materials so we can keep progressing. Because the items that I craft can be used in order to craft more strong plate armor, which was the task of the armor smithing. Now, cheesing my way, I was able to obtain enough animal hide to progress my skill to level 20. It was not the intended way, but I managed to farm enough in order to level up. Yes, this is not the intended way. They want you to kill mobs in a group. As they said, Pax Dei is not a single player game and is focused around the group play. But you cannot only rely on group play in an MMORPG, it does not work. I reported this and expressed my discontent about the situation. Cheesing was the only way, but I was not proud of it. I managed to advance in leatherworking, to the point where I could craft fine leather, and we started to unlock more craftables and other professions of my peers. But the system was not working. At this point, 2 weeks in the early access, they announced a major content update. As expected, it was about 80% bug fixes and 20% improvements. Was the labeling for storage, crafting adjustments, mainly the amount of items required in some recipes. And a big one for me was the drop rate fixes and drop locations from the tier 2 animal hides, so the orange ones. I thought to myself, hell yeah! The dev team is actually listening to the player base. For context, it was not only me complaining about this. The community was complaining about this. There were a amount of videos showing people how to cheese in order to obtain these items. So yeah, there had to be something done about the situation. Now, they also fixed the ability to climb trees, so you can't cheese the mobs anymore. This was great. Helps keeps the game integrity. But you can't get more animal hides from different sources. You can get more animal hides from different sources. And they fixed the way to break the gameplay, which are very good improvements, but not perfect. There are still ways to cheese, but they make it harder and harder. So we are taking steps in the right direction. For anyone wondering where to find them now, you can obtain them by killing deer in the home valleys. Killing rabbits will drop small animal hide, which will unlock a new recipe to turn them into the full animal hide. Outside the home valleys, you can still obtain them from wolves and boars, with an increased drop chance. Take into account, you will need a group in order to kill them, because climbing trees will not longer work. This was about 55 hours of my playing the game. If I had to unlock all the stations and building my base, I would not have been able to focus on leatherworking only. You indeed need a group of people to play this game and make substantial progress. Let me be clear, I don't think this is bad, this is really good, but there have to be ways in order that the single player experience, there has to be things you can do solo, because people have lives, and in order to combine this with other activities, you need to give people something to do when they are alone, because you cannot play in a group 24/7. Now, this being said, I hope this story helps to put in perspective what Pax Dei is like at this moment in time. As of was, it's right to get early access out right now, I don't know. I myself do not consider Pax Dei an early access, but more like a permanent alpha, because for me early access is feature complete, and Pax Dei is most certainly not feature complete. I hope they keep listening to feedback and adjustment and adjusting the game accordingly. The combat being my highest priority, and I don't care that mobs are hard to kill, but if you can't combat them properly, or fight animations are buggy, or the sounds even are not registering on time, people will keep trying to cheese their way to resources because there is no proper or human way to fight them. The second feature I await is the marketplace and gold introduction to the game. The MMO aspect of Pax Dei, I said this before and I will say it again, I cannot wait to experience this. For the moment being, I do not regret my time in Pax Dei, and it allows me to chill and gather, have some fun time with friends and experience the game. The building is especially amazing. The villages people are making is an art form on itself. The building mechanics, on the other hand, is a whole video on its own, because even there is work to be done, like snapping or rotating building elements. I will keep enjoying the world of Pax Dei, and as new content releases I will cover it on this channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, let's keep gaming.